Assalamu alaikum, I'm Aisha and you're watching Samaa News. Here are today's headlines. Iran's armed forces have been placed on full alert as Tehran responds to what it calls hostile US military deployments in the region. Lawmakers warned any attack would trigger strikes on US interests and bases, including across the Gulf. President Trump said a massive naval force is heading toward Iran, but added he still hopes for talks. Iran rejected negotiations, accusing Washington of bad faith and military aggression. Meanwhile, the United Arab Emirates has made it clear that it will not allow its airspace, territory, or territorial waters to be used for any military action against Iran. The Foreign Ministry said the UAE would also provide no logistical support for hostile operations. Abu Dhabi reaffirmed its policy of neutrality, calling for dialogue, de-escalation, and respect for state sovereignty. The statement comes amid heightened regional tensions involving Iran. European Union countries have given their final approval to ban Russian gas imports by late 2027, making their vow to cut ties with their former top supplier legally binding, nearly 4 years after Moscow's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Ministers from EU countries approved the law at a meeting in Brussels, although Slovakia and Hungary voted against and Bulgaria abstained. Hungary said it would challenge the law at the European Court of Justice. Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney will likely visit India the first week of March and sign deals on uranium, energy, minerals and artificial intelligence. Dinesh Patnaik, India's High Commissioner to Canada, said in an interview that formal negotiations for a comprehensive economic partnership agreement with India should also start in March. The countries agreed to restart stalled trade talks in November. US Under-Secretary of Defense for Policy Elbridge Colby and South Korean Defense Minister An Gyu-bak have agreed during talks to deepen cooperation on Seoul's pursuit of a nuclear-powered submarine. In a statement, South Korea's Defense Ministry said both sides viewed cooperation on a nuclear-powered submarine as a step that would strengthen South Korea's ability to lead the defense of the peninsula and elevate the security alliance. A group of armed attackers have killed 11 people and injured 12 at a soccer sports field after a match in the Mexican city of Salamanca, but a motive was not immediately clear. Mayor said on Facebook that a woman and a child were among those injured in the regrettable and cowardly attack in the Loma de Flores community during a social gathering, describing the incident as a severe social breakdown. An investigation has been launched into the attack. Meanwhile, officials in President Trump's administration have defended the fatal shooting of Alex Pretty by immigration agents in Minneapolis, even as video evidence contradicted their version of events. As residents visited a makeshift shrine of flowers and candles to mark Saturday's fatal shooting, Trump administration officials stated that Pretty assaulted officers, compelling them to fire in self-defense. That account was at odds with videos recorded by bystanders. A powerful winter storm has spread a paralyzing mix of heavy snow, sleet, and freezing rain from the Ohio Valley and Mid-South to New England, compounded by bitter Arctic cold gripping much of the US east of the Rockies. Winter storm warnings were posted for most of the eastern third of the United States, covering 118 million people, as the deep freeze strained energy supplies in some areas, and the National Weather Service predicted widespread, prolonged travel disruptions. Over in Canada, a powerful snowstorm and extreme cold have disrupted large parts of the country, prompting authorities to issue rare orange weather alerts. Heavy snow and strong winds have cut visibility and triggered road accidents, especially in Ontario. Also, more than 10,000 homes lost power in Quebec and Atlantic Canada. At Toronto Pearson Airport, over half of scheduled flights were cancelled, leaving thousands of passengers stranded. Indonesia has received its first 3 Rafale fighter jets from France, marking the initial delivery under an $8 billion defense deal signed in 2022. The jets arrived last Friday and are now stationed at an airbase in western Sumatra. Jakarta had ordered up to 42 Rafale jets as it accelerates military modernization under President Prabowo Subianto. More aircraft are expected later this year. The death toll from a ferryboat accident in the southern Philippines has reached at least 15, with 316 people rescued, as the search continued for the dozens still missing. The Philippine Coast Guard said the accident occurred on Monday, while the passenger vessel was en route to Jolo in Sulu province after departing from Zamboanga. They added that the vessel, operating within its authorized passenger capacity of 352, had 332 passengers on board and 27 crew. An official said 28 remain missing. The European Commission has launched an investigation into Elon Musk's AI chatbot, Grok, over the production of explicit imagery. Regina Doherty, a member of the European Parliament representing Ireland, said the investigation will assess whether X has complied with its obligations under EU digital legislation, including requirements relating to risk mitigation, content governance, and the protection of fundamental rights. And gold has surged to a record high above $5,100 an ounce, extending a historic rally as investors piled into the safe haven asset amid rising geopolitical uncertainties. Spot gold were up 2.2% at $5,089.78 per ounce, after earlier touching an all-time high of $5,110.50. US gold futures for February delivery also gained the same amount to $5,086.30 per ounce. The metal soared 64% in 2025, its biggest annual gain since 1979. That's all for now. For more updates, visit www.samaa.tv. Thank you for watching Samaa News.